Well, I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. Hot-wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm about the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys, it's all we'll ever be. I got an apple 6 weeks overdue. I got caught with a truck full of bootleg out-of-state booze. Locked my wife's diamond ring last June. Bought me an outboard Evan Root. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm about the things we do, or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys is all we'll ever be.
Time. It's time. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's time for the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Wade,
Right.
Carter, Commander in the corner.
Commander in the corner.
Good place for me.
It is a good place for you. It's where you belong.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
Nobody can put that baby in the corner. Except for us.
Baby. In my belly.
This is what I put up with every day, folks.
How much for the baby? Whatever happened to Mike Myers, by the way? What is he doing? Did he just make so much money?
Yeah,
He didn't.
Well, and I think his shtick got old, right? It's just what happens in Hollywood. They like you for a while, and then they overexpose you, and they make you do 8 Austin Powers movies.
Yeah,
and
then you're boring.
Yeah,
you know, somebody that just fought that, I think successfully, was Steve Martin. Steve Martin took on several more dramatic roles. He took on. He was not a clown in Father of the Bride. No. You know, he played a dad. He was hapless, but he was kind of like Tim Allen evolved out of Tim the Tool Guy and did some other stuff.
Well, I think Steve Martin wanted to do that. I think he wanted to be taken more seriously as an actor.
Yeah, and a very accomplished banjo player, but just didn't want to be rat-holed into doing wild and crazy guy.
Yeah, wearing an arrow on his head.
He didn't want to be that guy. The quick ones, Michael Keaton evolved into some serious roles. I mean, he played Batman. It's pretty dark.
Bill Murray.
Chevy
Chase.
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Chevy Chase is just.
I don't like Chevy Chase much.
I've found as he tried to become a more serious actor, he just wasn't that funny.
No,
it wasn't that
right.
good.
You can still be funny and be a serious actor.
Yeah, but he's also a jerk too, according to most of Hollywood.
Speaking of a jerk, I will recommend a movie called About My Dad, Robert De Niro. Very good film by a very leftist idiot. Very, very good film, though. Very enjoyable movie to watch. In Victoria, Texas, it's 79 degrees under cloudy skies. Heading to a high today of 95. It looks kind of partly cloudy, mostly sunny kind of deal all day.
Yeah, brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hay Feed and Ranch Services. Stop on by.
I went over the weekend and got some stuff for my chickens, some scratch for them to sunflower seeds and things they enjoy. We lost a chicken this week. I don't know. Went out. Rigor had set in.
Ooh.
Bird was dead. Don't know what happened there.
Heat?
It just doesn't seem like it's been that hot.
Yeah,
right.
I don't think it's been. I don't know.
But then they're also kind of molting. They're about a year old, so I'm kind of going through that.
Well, there's
Ugly. Like we
So
got
how many do you
no
have now?
eggs
8?
the other day. 7 down to 7. We
Oh,
got
yeah,
like
'cause
no
the
eggs the other
dog
day.
just put one in its mouth, didn't kill it.
Yeah, that was a while back.
Yeah. You started with 8, right?
Started with 8.
you're down.
Amazingly enough, didn't lose one. And I don't know. I know those of you that have backyard chickens. I mean, they're chickens, right? I mean, I feed them. I try to keep we keep their coop clean, but they're chickens. I mean, I don't understand this people that are constantly, I try to monitor their pH levels and I give them this and I give them that. And they're birds, man. Either they lay eggs or they don't. I don't spend a lot of time vetting.
No, you make sure they're doing all right.
Yeah.
Have you checked all their vents? Make sure they're not plugged up.
No, I don't mess with the lower end of a chicken. Personally, I'd rather lose a bird than probe the lower end. The bird's lower
Not much
unit.
to probe. I mean, we pretty much look and see if it's kind of goopy and gummed up. It's time to take action.
As I said, you ladies take care of your own lower unit. I'm out.
Mark Kurtz, Ricky King, Greg Garcia, all on the podium this morning. Good morning, guys. Marvin Mickers, David Glass, checking in. Bobby Leister, Mark Cepeda, Daniel Wade White, Judge Posey. Good
Hi,
morning.
Judge.
Good morning, Marina.
Hello, Marina.
Lisa Poole, Michelle Wilson Hawkins, Monty Howard, Rena Scherer, BJ
Celebrating
Nelson.
an anniversary. Rena Shear had an anniversary. It was earlier in the year, but they celebrated this last week. They traveled.
Junior, good morning. Wendy Garcia, saw her on the weekend. Scott Tomko, Micah Patton.
Wait, are we still talking to Junior? I thought we weren't talking.
No,
to him.
Junior's in. Junior's back in.
Oh, okay, good.
Yep. Sherry Jacobs. Yep. Junior reminding everybody it is Wade and Carter bingo night on Thursday night. Going to always looking forward to that.
Can you go back over? Is BJ Nelson once again trying to handle our marketing?
Different verse of this song. Maybe time to change songs.
I don't know.
Did the Brady Bunch change its song over the years?
The Brady Bunch. Come and listen. No.
To
It's
a story.
of a lovely lady. Right.
Are y'all offended?
Did anybody
Flintstones never changed their song.
Right? Well, nobody ever changed the Flintstones song.
Friends, same theme song.
Solid.
Cheers.
MASH.
Cheers.
No
MASH.
words on the MASH
No.
theme.
We go back to that.
The words of the MASH theme were very dark. Suicide is painless, I think is the name of the song.
Was it really?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at you guys pulling
Sure.
crap out of your butts this morning.
Well, speaking of our goop hole, that's you're a
Crystal
sick
Map,
man.
Joaquin
Ramon.
and
Good morning,
Gilbert.
Joaquin.
Scott Snow, Tammy Keeling says the song is tired.
Tammy, you're tired. Very, very
Go
tired.
back to sleep, Tammy.
I mean, it's 30 seconds, maybe a minute if we.
Oh. Always there with a quick judgment and some criticism. Very rarely there with a solution. Always there with an excuse.
Somebody have a better song that's royalty free?
Yeah.
I do.
Well, we'll put something together that's from AI, and we'll work on that. We'll get back to you folks.
Fair enough.
Maybe we'll mention Tammy Keeling in our AI song. You figure out where we mention Tammy Keeling. Good morning, Mom.
Could be anywhere.
Put my mom on Tammy Keeling. That'll straighten her out.
Lisa Poole, Lorena Bargenbrook, Linda Christ, Ben Zeller. Good morning, Judge.
Hello, Judge. I want to give the judge a compliment right quick. I can't think of anything. No. I wanted to tell you folks that this last week and all the trauma that we went through with losing a dog and all that, I was beyond satisfied. I was overserved, which has happened to me a number of times, but I was overserved by the Victoria County Animal Services Unit. Mark Sloat, who's a gentleman that was brought in, I don't know, maybe a year and a half
ago, yeah.
from he came in from Austin, liked our community, as I recall, actually took a pay cut to come here. And I was concerned about the way or what I should do, how I should involve animal services in the situation that was involving the dog. And Mark called me and answered all my questions. And it wasn't until about 10 minutes into the conversation that he initiated that he explained to me that he was actually in Leander rummaging through the home that he moved from and had leased because it flooded.
Really?
And I thought this gentleman took the time on a Friday where he was off work to, now you may go, well, big deal. It's a big deal. I mean, it's not like this guy's not an insurance agent. I'm not his customer, but he treated me extremely well, took the time to call, answered all my questions, and agreed with the way that we had diffused the situation and all that. And his staff came by and took statements and all of that. And I was like, wow, like it really worked well. So I say that to say hats off to the judge. I think this is a guy we definitely need to seek to keep, because I know
the other thing he's done is he's reduced the kill numbers out of our shelter.
I think he's doing a tremendous job. And it's one of those things that unless you need, and I mean, you're very, very involved with animal, you still do a good job. But unless you need them, you don't have a reason to appreciate them. And I just want you to know that our county has a really, really rock solid animal services leader. And I want to thank the judge for that.
I think the only thing that I hear negatively in the community is they don't open until 10 o'clock. When
I can't figure that out.
When everybody else is doing business is 8.
I don't understand that, to be honest, either.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
I don't know. It's hot. I don't know either. Maybe they should. And then there's nobody around like 24/7. That's the other thing. Most cities, you have an animal issue. Right. If you're not going to open till 10, maybe you should have somebody there overnight. I don't know.
BJ Nelson asks, how can you have chickens in the city? You're allowed hens.
Right.
You're not allowed roosters.
And I'm a troublemaker. Somebody come try to take my chickens. Let's see what happens.
Don't touch my chicken.
Yeah.
Torrin Bales, Tommy Kingston, good morning. Scott Tomko says we keep a fan going in their run and always have water available, but chickens will die. Yeah, they do.
Yep. I have up the protein, Junior. And quit telling me what to do.
Thank you, Junior.
Yeah, we do go out and visit them as well.
They don't lay when they molt.
BJ Nelson says get coated right here. I find it interesting that
Happy Days did change their theme song, though. I think they went from I believe Happy Days did change their theme song at some point along the way.
Sunday, Monday, Happy Days.
BJ, I've already written 2 of them. They didn't like them.
I don't understand. I just don't understand why you ladies get bogged down. Yeah. Tammy says, I'm tired. You guys wear me out with your judgment. It's easy, Tammy. Quit listening. Just go away. It's easy. It's simple. I mean, we're not here for everybody. Ash and I have a conversation. We allow you people to listen to it. I'm not here to patronize you. Rena Shear likes the song. She's been listening 5 years longer than you. So there you go.
Tommy King says chickens also lay just a certain number of eggs over their lifetime. There you go.
BJ says mention longtime supporters. I don't know what else she wants. I mean, she is the official trash and demolition service of the Wade Carter program and has been for years.
When you use Garcia, what's with the Mo Hate Monday crowd?
Yeah, why would
anybody hate synonymous with us now? Leave it alone.
Absolutely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
We had a different theme song, and then
the ladies are rallying.
We moved it over here. No, when did we changed it a while back?
I used to like. There's no touching of the hair or face. Remember that? What? Do you still have that somewhere?
Somewhere, probably. That would. Now that we're, if we're getting slapped over royalties on Facebook over this song that I have to go and defend about once a week as to why we're allowed to use it, I couldn't imagine the crap we'd face over
Vince Vaughn's
over using Anchorman.
Anchorman drop after us.
Probably. You might.
That was back when nobody listened.
Yeah, exactly. There's Jarrett McCrugan checking in. Stephanie Cotty. Good morning.
Junior Simple says judgment involves
Yeah.
us discussing your salvation, not your ideas that suck. How about the reason I'm wearing
PJ
this
says
shirt?
the words of the song don't represent us. No, but the good old boys is what will always be. It's the chorus.
Right here, Monty Howard says, good looking shirt. The reason I'm wearing this shirt is because Texas had a 1-2 finish at the Open Championship. Scotty Scheffler and after him,
Hunter
Harris English. Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
Both
like that.
both Longhorn golfers.
English kid.
Very interesting to note. Yes, Dee, we will get to those Astros.
Yes.
Worth noting that Scheffler, in winning his 4th major, and he's also got the deal that he's won by the largest.
He's now won the career
margin.
Grand Slam too.
I don't think so.
I think that was it.
I
He
think
needed to win the Open.
No, he's missing the PGA.
Sure.
But you look it up. What he did do was he completed his 10th win in a row where he led after 54 holes. So over his last, I mean, he's also won other tournaments where he came from behind or whatever. But if he has the lead at the end of Saturday, he has won 10 straight tournaments. He has not surrendered a lead.
He has not won the U.S. Open yet.
Okay. So he has not surrendered a lead in 10 victories. Tiger Woods did that 37 times.
Yeah.
37 times is like probably over 4 or 5 seasons where if he was in the lead after the 3rd day, he won the tournament. That's impressive. That's uncharted territory.
Absolutely it is.
So Scheffler is as close to the dominance that we saw of Tiger in the late 90s, early 2000s as we've seen since that time. Jordan Spieth didn't do it. Rory McIlroy didn't do it. Scotty Scheffler is.
And think about it. He's won what? Or he's 10. I mean, he's got 4 more years of this to even try to get close.
Yeah.
To where Tiger Woods was after 54 holes.
Does Michael Berry have a song? I don't know. I can tell you that the show is content and interest driven, and we could do it without intro music. It's just there to give you a chance to check in. We don't need.
No, it basically is there to be a buffer between Bill Posey on the radio and dead air on Facebook and YouTube's. So that's all.
Tammy says she likes to listen outside her comfort zone, and then so she's an admitted leftist. That's fine.
Jennifer Rayburn says you'll never find a tougher copyright battle than any part of a song audio file,
right?
With Disney involved.
Oh yeah.
Oh, trust me, they're the flags that come up on Facebook all the time, and it's always from like Azerbaijan or Belarus or one of the stands.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's really weird. Hey, we're huge in southeastern Ontario today. Good morning, Joel Gomez. Good morning, Nate.
More important than any other sponsor ever, White Trash Services, 550-1826. 550-1826, White Trash Services. And, of course, White Trash
long time sponsor.
Huge sponsor. Great proponent of the content.
Great supporter of the community.
Unbelievable people.
Are we going to talk about our sponsors today?
Just specifically and only. This is the White Trash Services
hour
day in the booth. Yes. No, BJ Nelson and her family do a tremendous job. Job of taking care of Victoria region, this whole region's trash needs. And on top of that, they are great. She gives back. They're great community stewards. Scott's been involved in the rodeo and the Go Texan and so
livestock
show, Chamber of Commerce, school board, great people giving back to the community that they serve. Cheswick Furniture, Cheswick and Love, make your house a home. Get by and see why you just always do better at Cheswick. Bobby Leon and his family serving you and yours for over 100 years. Atzenhofer and Atzenhofer.com. Atzenhofer since 1926.
Brand new Chevrolets. They have Mitsubishis and every pre-owned
Wow.
that you can get.
No doubt about it. Atzenhofer is Victoria's car dealership. Went services, went electrical, went for all your generator needs. Went when you need a turnkey generator.
When the power went.
Yeah, no doubt. Torn Bell says, I'm a proud white trash customer.
Yep. I was too. I loved them in the county when I was living out there. They were always there. They didn't just forget about you one day or not show up, and they always delivered or picked up.
Do you feel like we're biased?
No.
It's like we're just right.
Yeah.
Just find a subject. Let's see if we're biased.
Funny thing is, we do peruse other.
No doubt about it.
Other
BBC, we're on all of them all the time. Very few of them tell you the truth. They all sugarcoat stuff.
I don't listen to The View. I think they're just idiots.
No. Whoopi Goldberg is no, it really is, except for her movie career, is no comparison to what we do here.
So, honestly, is there a bigger story over the weekend than Tulsi Gabbard's accusations about what went on going back to the Obama administration?
It's always over the weekend.
Yeah, I think it started to come out last year or last week. But of course, that was overshadowed by Coldplay.
The reality is the Tulsi Gabbard has said it. It's now been said that the Russia election interference hoax that now I believe everybody agrees was a hoax, that information, that it was a hoax, was made available to Barack Obama personally, who made the decision to not disclose that information to the American public. And I'll let Ash give you some details.
Well, no, I mean, the CIA, John Brennan directed them to spy on Trump.
Yeah.
They accepted what we all now know is a fake Russian dossier.
And signed a bunch of warrants to allow them, based on that fake dossier, to spy on the Trump campaign and Donald Trump. The man was, it was a deep state effort. As you look back, it was a deep state effort to bundle him up. Multiple impeachments, constant harassment, fake lawsuits, harassing him about his real estate deals, all just garbage from the party that unites.
There was a letter that went to the then director of the CIA in March of last year, 2024.
Right.
From Jim Jordan.
Pretty credible.
The Committee on the Judiciary, its select subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government, and the Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence are conducting oversight into new reports that the United States intelligence community, including the CIA, illegally mobilized foreign intelligence agencies to target Trump advisors long before the summer of 2016. This goes all the way back to President Obama and his CIA director, John Brennan.
Yeah.
In March of 24, they asked for these documents to be released. And Biden, President Otto Penn, didn't do anything.
No doubt. Greg Garcia says, watch the leftists start to make every excuse in the book for Obama. The shoe's now on the other foot and they can't stand it. Monty Howard says that he saw where Tulsi Gabbard turned some info over to the DOJ. She did. People have asked, one of them being a guy that I follow closely, Mike Slater, very level-headed pundit, who just said, look, it's a great story. You're telling me that the buck stopped with the president of the United States until you show me some arrests. It's just a cool story. That's what's interesting. I mean, I'm like, hey, the president of the United States had data that hurt the Democrats' political position, so he squashed it. And if that's true, knowing what it led to in terms of what happened to Trump over his first presidency. I think there ought to be arrests.
Well, if Donald Trump can be found guilty of mislabeling payments to his attorney 34 times or whatever the heck the number is on the felony charges, right?
That's right.
How does Hillary Clinton get away with paying for the fake Steele dossier?
When they started asking where some of these people, one of them was a lady that went on to become a United States ambassador to some nation. They're like, where'd she get all the money? Where'd she get all this money? Very interesting. But in typical DC form, this information comes out, over the weekend. Just keep it kind of on the down low. I still don't understand where any evidence, they refer to her, the leftist Main Street media refers to Tulsi Gabbard as a Russia asset. If she was a Russia asset, it was while she was a Democrat. I mean, that's just a fact.
Well, because she basically became an independent, and they think she's now a Team Trumper. And if Trump's a Russia, if Trump's in bed with Putin, she must be in bed with Putin.
She's clearly not a Team Trumper. The only reason all these people, we've said it before, I challenge you to find any other reason. What else do all these people, the Robert F. Kennedys, the Gabbards, the Gnomes, what do they all have in common? They were all directly attacked by the deep state. Tulsi Gabbard was on a no-fly zone, a no-fly list. Wasn't allowed to get on an airplane. Think about it, people. It's an elected official, military veteran. Crazy. It's crazy. It's absurdity.
It is. Oh, it is.
And yet the left did it with regularity in their effort to unite everybody. Thank goodness that the Democrats have no leadership at all. There is no leadership. I mean, why isn't anybody except me asking, where's Kamala Harris? Shouldn't Kamala be out on a speaking tour, chatting up the Democrat agenda? Where is she? Honestly, she's back in California, I guess. Honestly, doing what? Drinking vodka. Really?
Who knows what she's doing? And to be honest,
Who cares?
the American people don't care.
No, and the American people don't care. Yet there's a whole bunch of Trump derangement folks that are still like going, oh, we could have had Kamala. Our country was on life support, people. We were the joke of the world.
Yeah.
Now,
and
Trump is at the point, and God bless him, Trump is at the point where he's like, I've got 3.5 years left, and I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what needs to be done. And God bless him.
But he's a dictator.
Clearly, yeah, he's clearly a dictator. Oh, and a fascist, and he's anti-Semitic as he supports Israel.
And he's Hitler.
And he's Hitler because he's detaining elite folks that are here illegally. He's Hitler. I haven't seen the ovens yet. And then also he's decentralizing power out of DC. Let's do away with the Department of Education. Let's do away with FEMA. Clearly what a dictator does is spreads the power back out across the states.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense to me. But the left loves to throw out terms like he's a fascist. He is clearly not.
He is to the left because apparently he's the reason that Stephen Colbert's out at CBS.
Which is,
right?
Again,
they blame Trump for that.
Let's look at ratings. Colbert, how many of you, be honest, have ever watched an entire Colbert show? I have not. I have not. And it's the same logic. It's the same exact logic as these WNBA ladies over the weekend wearing a T-shirt that says, pay us what you owe us. If they got paid what they were owed, they wouldn't be able to afford the T-shirt. If it wasn't for the NBA propping them up with $200 million, I don't understand the logic that says, well, they're girls and they're playing ball. They should make the same money the NBA makes. This is an unfettered, somewhat free market called supply and demand. That would be as if our garage band said, why aren't we playing at Madison Square Garden? Because, I mean, we're trying just as hard as Van Halen.
Why aren't we playing where Pearl Jam plays and making their money?
Yeah, I don't get it. Callie Frank says, check the ratings. That sounds like capitalism. And it is, right?
Yeah, there's word out there that Colbert, $40 million a year that CBS is losing. And here's the thing. They basically just said, you know what? In May of 26, when your contract runs out,
we're not
renewing it. They didn't cancel him like, okay, Friday's your last show.
No. Wendy Hughes Garcia says WNBA players obviously don't understand supply and demand.
I think they're getting overpaid for what the supply and demand is because the NBA props them up. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that's really it. I mean, what's his name that hosted the ESPYs last week with his joke about, hey, there's 4-time WNBA All-Star, made up a name, and it was his friend's wife sitting in the crowd, and everybody cheered. And then he called them all out on it. None of you know who that is. That's my friend's wife. That's not an NBA All-Star or WNBA All-Star.
Right.
Because nobody knows the WNBA players.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't watch the WNBA. Not because it's women playing basketball. I think it's a terrible product to watch.
Well, here you go.
College basketball is women's college basketball is a lot more fun to watch than the WNBA.
Greg Garcia
stops
says,
there with me.
You have to actually make money to get paid money. You also have to put out a good product. The WNBA does neither of those. I can't help but agree. Women's college basketball is much more interesting than the WNBA. And it just,
when the best in the game are paid to miss shots from 2 feet constantly, I can't watch that.
Right. Now, Junior Samples, I don't disagree. Caitlin Clark rocks. She has made me a fan. That's great. But here's the deal. It's crazy to me how the system of the WNBA is so racially biased and so racist that they're destroying the one thing that, like, the jealousy of the most popular black players is destroying the product because they intentionally foul, harass, beat on, talk bad about the one superstar that they've got. Torrin Bell says it's funny how the left loves the ones on the left until they aren't, like Trump, Tulsi, Elon, RFK, and very soon Fetterman. You know, Fetterman had that stroke, and afterwards he had some coherent thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like the strokes, brought him back into reality. Yeah. Jonathan Williams says, give them profit sharing, find out how much they are worth. You're right. They would all get an invoice.
They also only play 44 games as opposed to the NBA playing, 82 games?
Yeah.
They keep saying we want to be paid what the NBA players are paid. And trust me, in my opinion, the NBA players overpaid.
Grossly overpaid already.
But it's not just what they're making in the U.S. There's a global market. China is worth billions to the league
and
every
they don't want
year.
To watch women play basketball. Yeah, you're right. Caitlin Clark went out and got endorsement money. Yeah.
Good. She's NIL.
No doubt. That's right. That is correct. Let's do this while we can.
Where do you want to start?
Paravita Wellness. Today's a great day to start at Paravita. Get in, get some gluten-free, preservative-free, fresh, healthy Paravita Wellness. Get by Vita Cafe. Drive up, get what you want. Great. They've got wraps, all types of different pizzas and all kinds of things.
They have really good little egg muffins that have like chicken and spinach in them, or bacon and kale and cheese and mushrooms. They're really good.
There you go. Get by the dollar floor store, whether you want tile, laminate flooring, hardwoods, carpet, whatever all your flooring needs. Get you some shag. That's right.
You bought a 70s ranch. It only looked good with shag carpet.
I think shag's coming back.
Right?
It probably is.
Made me think again of Mike Myers. Does it make you feel randy, baby? Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to Totu.
He's ours.
Get in. Allen will help you get from here to there. very well. A jump. If you have a problem, put that number first in your phone. I've said it for years, ladies. AAAAA Allen's Wrecker Service. And when you open up your contacts, Allen's will be at the top. 578-6300. Veracruz Restaurant, simply the best Mexican food in town, whether you want their fresh queso, guac, salsa made daily, chips made in-house, tortillas homemade. Get into Veracruz today for a meal extraordinaire. And then USA Concrete Coatings. USA can sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done to your concrete floor. They can put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade and help you salvage your garage. You can have cracks. They can seal them. You'll love it. Palace Bingo. This Thursday, where friends meet friends.
Can't wait.
Meet us at Palace Thursday night. The food is fun. The atmosphere is electric. It'll be a lot of fun. Stephanie Connie says she got 3 plates of the brisket tacos yesterday. Well, tell him, Riker. Riker the Wonder Dog says maybe that was a little too much brisket, Stephanie, but 3 plates. There you go. Veracruz is closed today. That's right. Leah and Ida are bowling. Thank you, Monica. Takes a village.
Forgot about that.
They're in, where are they?
Reno?
No, they're in Louisiana.
Okay.
They went to Baton Rouge. There you go.
This is somewhere around now is when Lee usually goes to Reno to bowl, isn't it?
Yeah, Jonathan Williams says if the WNBA goes on strike, which apparently they're kind of arguing about, what little gains they have made will be killed. I think I agree 100% that very quickly, the majority of Americans, the majority of their viewer base will say, we don't care enough to put up with this drama. When you start out behind the 8 ball, when you start out behind the NBA, you need to do it better, cleaner, more fun, more upbeat. You've got to play the cards you were dealt. And the cards that they were dealt is that
they're the sporting world equivalent of EVs. Without the WNBA without the NBA subsidizing them, the product doesn't make it.
The blue one. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We're joined by the Honorable House District 30 State Representative A.J. Louderback on the road, no doubt, sir. How are you?
Yes, sir.
I'm guessing he's already there.
He's a road warrior. I know you're going back to Austin today. Tell us what's going to happen and bring folks up to speed on what's going to shake down in Austin.
Well, it's shaping up to be a pretty active 30 days. I think the agenda is going to be it's going to consume quite a bit of time, I think, on THC, taxpayer-funded lobbying, and then obviously the disaster, flood and recovery there. So there's a lot going on. There's actually some criminal jurisprudence bills that we will hear. There's a number of bills that are going to be slated to be examined and voted upon and make a little better policy out of. So it promises to be a pretty good time in Texas here as we try to tackle some of these things that need tackling.
Tell folks about you how you see your role. You were recently appointed by Speaker Dustin Burrows to the Committee on Disaster Preparedness and Flooding. How do you see your skill set and your experience benefiting that committee?
Well, he put me on there because of my extensive experience dealing with emergencies of all kinds. So we have, obviously we need to figure out a way to give people a little bit better advance notice. Some different systems here that technology can afford us as to handling a rising water situation. So we had an incredible amount of water fall in a short period of time, and so we will try to tackle that. But along with that also comes radio interoperability, which I have extensive experience in that. So it's a lot of times you would think that we have an interoperable radio system here for law enforcement and public safety, but that's it is true in certain cases in the state. There are pockets of good communication. And then there are places here in the state where we don't have communication, and we still have a lot of different ways that counties can make decisions and become interoperable on those decisions. So this is something that I think we have to look at as far as the overall picture on how we handle disasters here in Texas. And this is, I think, the main goal. I hope for everyone. Yes, we need to take care of the flooding issue, take care of the hill country, kind of clean that up and put them in much better shape. But we also need to look at how we handle disasters. The mortuary service, came to play a major role in the flood. So there's a lot of little things I think we can change and look at as far as making it our overall response from the state level, much better. I mean, we put 2,000 people on the ground out there very quickly and did some very good things. But change and technology, and you add those things together with manpower, you may come out with a better system.
Something I could see in the hill country would be like the old, I don't know what you call them, but let's say you're in Kansas and you have the tornado sirens go off, it would be notable to me. You see here on our I-69 corridor, you'll see the signs that say hurricane escape route. I could see some signage because you can get turned around in the hill country. There's lots of cutbacks and all that on the roads. I could see some signage saying, literally this way to higher ground, and then have like a siren type system. It seems antiquated, but at the same time,
that is one of the agenda items that Governor Abbott is a flood warning system. But how
much more do you need, right? We had a 12-hour warning, not watch, a 12-hour warning for the floods in the Kerrville area, and we had a 3-hour warning before it happened. So very interesting. And by the way, thank you, and keep us up to speed on that. What about BJ Nelson asked, what is an example of taxpayer lobbying?
Well, I think the overall scheme behind taxpayer-funded lobbying has been from day one, and we've been looking at this for quite a few sessions. And as a sheriff, it was prohibitive for sheriffs, county judges, tax assessor collectors, county officials, and city officials being able to go to Austin and serve as information subject matter experts on different things. So the whole part of it, we have fought against that for some time, because I think it's vital that we have local communication with local officials on what's going on in the district. So I think that's a vital deal. But on the other hand, we also have major millions of dollars being paid with taxpayer-funded money, which goes to lobby firms, which represents the urban cities. And so we're talking about in excess of $100 million that's going into from taxpayer-funded money that's being paid out to lobbyists to enhance their position on whatever position that is. So
what are some of those? What are some of those groups that people might be familiar with?
Well, it's going to be like Harris County. Harris County has a major lobby group that's paid for by tax dollars. They pay a lobbyist to lobby for Harris County, and so Dallas does, Bexar County does. So this has all been part of it. I mean, so at some point in time, we've even had school districts that our large school districts have gotten involved in this. So it's trying to blend and balance this out as to where we can get the kind of information we need and not prohibit it. But also balance out how taxpayer money is spent. And so, I mean, it'll be interesting on this as to where it goes. It's never really gotten out of the House, and it's had some Senate problems and issues before. And most of those issues have really been from local officials. I mean, I can't imagine a system. I started going in 2005 simply because the legislature wasn't was not being informed of what would work and what wouldn't. And so, I mean, I started this whole venture years ago simply because if we don't explain very clearly, if the county judges in this district can't speak to their legislators and speak to the committees and go up there, and I don't think they're spending excessive time or excessive money, but I don't think that's something we can knock out. I think that's vital
Right.
to the whole program.
It was interesting. The president's been saying for a while that he wanted to take away the federal government's funding of NPR and some of the other program. I'm just drawing a blank on what it was. PBS. And I found it interesting today was the first time I've heard in all this discussion that the money that the president's taking away from NPR and PBS is 10% of their budget. I did not know that. I was under the impression that they were going to shutter their doors because the federal government was pulling their funding. In reality, it's a 10% cut to them. And and good for him. Good on the president saying, hey, you shouldn't take taxpayer money on either side. You shouldn't take taxpayer money to promote a biased agenda, on the airwaves.
Are there things like the County Judges and Commissioners Association of Texas, which do they kind of blur the line a little bit, or are they clean? But I know those are, all 254 counties are a member of that, and they have lobbying efforts or educational efforts at the state. Does that blur a line in this, or is that something that this legislation or this session is going to try to clean up?
Well, it's fairly complex on how the Texas Association of Counties, TAC, is actually operates. They operate with a risk pool. It's basically their money is divided into two sets. So I mean, they're really an insurance company for the counties, and they do a good job with that. And we've worked with TAC. I worked with TAC for a number of years, and but their risk pool is where most of the dollars goes. To bring a county judge into, I'm not sure what they pay or what they don't pay anymore. But from the local officials, from the county and cities, the police chiefs association. I mean, they take care of their own people. The Sheriff's Association took care of us. National Sheriff's Association took care of us. So I'm not really sure what kind of dollars are involved in that at the amount. But the gain of information that comes from the County Judge Association, the Sheriff's Association, any of these, and TAC supports all these folks with a lobbyist to work with them, and so they're really the vehicle for information to get it started. And then, sheriffs and judges, they come in, county clerks, they all have their own associations, and they all come in and they routinely call me. They call me on the House floor, I don't know how many times, on certain bills that affect county business and city business. So this is not the hundreds of millions of dollars that that Harris County, for example, and Bexar County and Dallas County, Tarrant County are all involved with. I think that is the types of money that we're looking at, and that's going to come before us here, maybe in this special session.
But the money that goes to the risk pools, that's understandable because that's like the insurance. But the money that gets siphoned off to fund lobbying efforts, could that potentially change in this session as well? Could those efforts have to end?
It could potentially change. It could be affected, and I think there are some solutions to it, and but it may be modified. I'm just not sure how it's going to go, Ash, because it's gotten traction. It's a Republican theme, and I think it's important. But I'm just not really sure if they've got the votes, and I'm not sure if they've got the right balance of lawmaking here on this thing.
I mean, I understand the need for lobbyists in some ways because what I can see happening is you're going to end up, I mean, I can imagine the criticism that elected officials would face if they have to then turn around and spend, all their time. If you're the county judge in Victoria, and I'm not saying this is Ben Zeller, but if all of a sudden you don't have somebody that you can send to Austin to represent you in other counties, now the county judge is in Austin all the time instead of in Victoria.
Right.
Well, I think it would be, it wouldn't be sound policy to require a county judge to come to session every 2 years and spend 2 or 3 months, advocating for county business. So I think that's true. I think it's a combination. It's best utilized with the lobbyists who lobbyists supply a lot of information. They're the conduit with which a lot of this information, but it can't be just the lobbyists.
Yeah, right.
I don't just use just lobbyists. I don't rely on lobbyists. I rely on factual information from the district and factual information from where I need to get it from. So, and sometimes a part of that information is from the lobbyist, and but they do serve a role there, and I just never have used them just a tremendous amount. But the Sheriff's Association has a lobby person that's is a fine man. Does a good job.
It seems like it
would good factual information.
Well, it seems like it would make sense to have a collective, or like, for example, instead of Judge Zeller having to read every piece of legislation that affects counties, that you pay someone like TAC to have several employees who read, scour, and understand, disclose what's going on in legislation. And then the counties can provide feedback to those people and say, hey, look, instead of having 254 county judges show up at your office over a 5-day period, you have one lobbyist show up and say, hey, I'm here representing the Texas Association of Counties, for example. And we don't like this unfunded mandate that you guys are trying to shove down on us. And I mean, to me, that makes sense. It's just more efficient to have a lobbyist. In a lot in the same way that it's just a lot more efficient to have you there representing all of your district, as opposed to each taxpayer going and visiting with the Speaker of the House. So I don't have a problem with lobbyists. I'm going to be curious to see how this comes out. I do like the idea that if you're a lobbyist, you have to register and disclose that you're a lobbyist. I mean, that you are certainly there with a bias. Yeah. I like that. Fun. I like that. But yeah, I mean, I
agree.
You've been there so long that you know the agendas of all these people. I mean, you get it. So yeah.
Yep.
What time does the gavel drop this morning? 8 o'clock?
Oh, it's this afternoon. I think.
No, it's afternoon.
Okay.
12 noon.
They don't want to rush back into it, and then they'll probably vote today. One of the first items will be, right, Sheriff, to take Friday off. That'll be one of the that will come before the House. The gentleman yields. For what purpose? Mr. Speaker, I'd like to speak on behalf of all the Democrats and suggest that we get back to our districts by Friday.
I missed that. It's right there in the first sentence of the governor's announcing a special session noon today.
In the big picture, the governor, under some heat. I mean, he and Dan Patrick apparently at odds over certain issues. Where do you think the governor's leadership comes in this special session? And will you see him, for example, on the House floor over, the next couple of weeks?
Well, the governor's the pen holder. He was not happy with THC, with the ban on THC and that's where the disagreement comes from. I don't know. It's not a serious disagreement. They just disagree on policy. So, the THC ban, and THC is there's going to have to be some balances made on the THC ban. So I think that everyone is aligning themselves pretty well with the fact that if we can protect our kids and if we can get THC, the availability of it restricted in a lot of ways, as is not sold at convenience stores and and different places that kids can walk into and buy these untested products with an unknown amount of whatever drugs are in them. I think this is something we got to stop. I'll be very adamant about that. Listen, it shouldn't be hard to protect children, in our state, and it seems to be. So that's going to be one of the first things that have to go. And the expanded use of the compassionate use bill. So I think that our military, our veterans, that can get off of opiates and things like that.
Yes, sir.
I think that that's something to look at. And our elderly who the aches and pains and the inability to sleep at night. I think we need to come up with some solutions for that. So we'll take a look at it, and hopefully we'll find a good balance over the next 30 days of good policy and get it signed into law. If the governor doesn't like it, well, he'll veto it again. We'll go back.
We're visiting with House District 30 State Representative A.J. Louderback. And, sir, you educated me on the idea that you might walk into one store and buy a certain brand of something that you can put in your vape, and it has a certain level of THC, and you may walk into a different store or back into the same store a day later and buy the same product again. And because of a lack of regulation, because of an inconsistency in manufacturing, you could actually get a totally different drug. And the idea being that where I could see this going to protect the legal hemp industry and the fact that hemp and even marijuana can be useful tools just as opioids can in the right situation. I could see it where you end up having more privately owned, not government owned, but privately owned dispensaries where if you're over 21 and you want to buy this product and put it in your vape, I'm talking about even at the lowest, the legal THC levels, then we're fine with that. But you can't just walk into your local, pack and sack, or sack and pack, I guess.
Either way.
You can't walk into that and just buy it at the age of 16 and put it in your big sister's vape. I think that's kind of the big picture. Am I close?
Yeah, you're close. It's
Thank you, sir.
like I say, it's going to be a balancing act here on what's right. And I'm always going to lean on the fact that as a law enforcement professional, I'm not for THC. I've seen what it's done. I've seen the damage caused by it. So that is fact, and that's not really open for a lot of discussion because it's misused as a recreational drug. It's I don't think we're there yet in the state to bring marijuana as a recreational drug, and so really this is where a part of this population is wanting to go, where we just legalize, but it's still a federal Schedule I drug. So hemp has been the avenue into more or less legalizing more and more marijuana use, or THC use. So it'll be interesting as what's going to happen. It's just going to be interesting. See what form the bill takes.
But it's interesting because
happening?
hemp and marijuana are related, but they're not the same. Marijuana has THC in it. Hemp has CBD, and I believe from what I was reading, the Farm Bill of 2018 actually defined how much THC can be in hemp. It's a low level, but
right.
It is a low level, but there's some science on there. And I was on Sid Miller's hemp team, and I spoke about this publicly that there's going to be some issues on this, and exactly what I said has come true. And hemp has been the side vehicle into more of a legalized product. So a lot of these products are hemp products, and they can have high amounts of THC in them.
Is that lack of regulation then?
Well,
lack of regulation. It's lack of inspectors. Lack of control. I mean, it's a whole wide array of things that went into when hemp was legalized.
We also know, though, from observation that law enforcement, by and large, has taken somewhat more of an apathetic stance on extremely small amounts of marijuana. I mean, I don't believe that anybody in Victoria, Texas, would even get a ticket for having a couple of joints in their ashtray. I don't know where I stand on that. I mean, if it's illegal, enforce it. You know, like you saw, I'm sure, sir, the Border Patrol agent who was shot in the face yesterday in New York City while being robbed by a 21-year-old illegal immigrant who had been arrested by Eric Adams police forces 4 times. And 4 times the judge released that person on their own recognizance with no bail. So they got no skin in the game. They didn't even get a slap on the wrist. They didn't spend any time in jail. He had been arrested 4 times in New York.
And now Eric Adams is saying that Border Patrol must do more.
Yeah, Border Patrol, it's a federal issue and the government needs to do more. And I'm just like, come on. So my attitude, what came to me today is that if you are an American, and we hear these stories about folks that get wrapped up in, these ICE raids, and there was an American held in a detention center. You know what? That's just the price that some Americans may have to pay in this war on criminality, because there is the relentless pursuit by the president, I think, has got to continue until we get a majority of these illegals out of our country. The border is essentially secure, as you told me it would be when the president was elected.
But he still has not deported anywhere near the numbers that Barack Obama deported. And
Barack
had no problem with
Obama's
that.
numbers were padded by the fact that those people were turned away at the border. So when they quit coming, in fairness, when they quit coming, you can't turn them around at the border. So those numbers drop, and President Trump is actually deporting people that are in our country. Have you heard anything more on what's going on in Florida with the alligator Alcatraz?
No, I haven't. I think it's going to be a functioning site for holding, but I haven't heard anything about it. I haven't seen anything about it. I've been pretty quiet about that. But really, just business as usual with ICE. I mean, they're talked to them last week extensively, but they are holding a lot of people, and they actually have the funding back in place with the big beautiful bill. Because ICE was, you gotta remember, guys, their manpower, they're having to be supplemented by all other federal law enforcement sources right now. So part of the FBI, part of the Marshal Service, part of the DEA. I mean, these guys are all being given Title 8 authority on immigration and being brought to work for ICE because they don't have the people, and they haven't had the beds, and they haven't had the money because, they, in 4 years of Biden administration, they were all defunded. So, I mean, they really they had to have this bill to get, to get the money to operate. And so we'll see some things happening in the latter half of this year that I think will be outstanding as they try to clean up this mess caused by the Biden administration.
Well, something you told me long ago, you told me this long ago, and we're starting to see it play out now, that the deportations are going to disrupt the balance of electoral votes. Nationally, I think it's fairly incumbent that we have a new census before very long and actually count Americans as opposed to just bodies. And when that happens, you're going to see places like California lose electoral votes. And I just don't think it could happen to a better bunch. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this unravels. And we appreciate you calling us this morning. We've run a few minutes over, which is fine because we're on multiple platforms. So we still have a huge listener base right now. But would love to have you call in during the session as your time allows and keep us up to speed.
I'll keep y'all. I'll call in the mornings as I'm headed to, and we'll get kind of caught up there. If we need to call into the radio station with listeners, we'll just let me know when, and we'll.
Yes, sir.
We'll try to get it done. But
thank you for all you do. Thank you for the huge impact you had as a freshman legislator. back before you were an unpaid lobbyist. Now you're a freshman legislator. But we call it what you want.
Y'all.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
You've been
you.
very
Appreciate
effective.
Thank you, sir.
God bless,
Have a great
sir.
day. Enjoy the session
appreciate it.
this afternoon.
So that was, we call him sheriff, but he's the Honorable House District 30 State Representative AJ Louderback, and the sheriff will be in Austin today at noon for the a replica of this actual Texas
Gavel.
House gavel to drop. What did HR Mallory say? It's always worth sharing HR's
Statewide
comments.
patchwork enforcement is an issue. CCP says you can file Class B misdemeanors and certain Class A's at large for county residents, cite and release. But per the way the law is written, if a Jackson County resident comes into Victoria County with less than 2 ounces, law enforcement is required by law to take them in.
There you go. So if you stay in Jackson County, you smoke all the weed you want.
Come to Victoria.
There you go. Then
Don't
you
get
get in
busted.
trouble. Don't smoke and drive. Good morning, John Anderson. Have a great day in the Carolinas. We appreciate all you folks. It is the top of the hour. Don't play that song. Nobody likes that song. We're just going to, there you go.
We'll see you all tomorrow,
Thank
folks.
you, America. Bye.